Black is the new black. A tidy black substitute for what cannot be named. A house for black prayers that don't fit into MLK's black dream. That won't carry Malcolm's black guns. They rise like black smoke. Like hungry black fingers searching for black messiah. Reaching out to touch the hem of any black man's cloak. Waiting patiently for black water to turn wine. Or black feet kissing the concrete of every black block they step on. Hallowing black neighborhoods with the sound of black footsteps, fear dripping down black spines as they run from the business end of a black gun. This is a cry for black help, a declaration of black war, treaty signed in black ink with black glittering smiles and trembling hands that pave the way for black exploitation. We're also giving back to the black hood because the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, the darker the flesh, then the deeper the roots. Black preaches freedom on every church square. Black cares. If don't nobody else care, black has always been about this life. Absorbing all color and reflecting none, but it's black owned, stumbling for its way in the dark and still illuminating a path for others, sustaining life like Mammy in the South, pouring black milk from black breasts into bleached mouths until they are dry, empty, burnt out, and hollow, crumbling away like scorched dreams of freedom. Black holds ash behind its teeth. Darkens even the cleanest of black mouths with just one kiss. Teaches you to paint your black face with blackface for black entertainment, for bleak sport. Call yourself Burt Williams. Call yourself Burt Nigger. Call yourself king of black comedy, because what about being black isn't so blacking funny? Does not require black prayer. Does not require black choirs to sing black melody into your black ears when you fall into black sleep. Remind you of who black is. Black lives two black lives, knows the echo of a church bell on Black Sunday, knows when to mind its blacking business. Black lives, black lives matter is generated from black energy moving 2 times the speed of black light moves faster, running back to back, not away but towards. So everybody move to the back of the bus unless you're trying to bump in, shump it with us. We gon' yank every black fish up from the black water. Black hooks still hanging from the lips of their daughters, hold them up to our black sun and ask them to bleed all the reasons they think this black is something they can take from. See, they want us to bow down to our knees, but we will not leave till this place looks like we want all black everything. We want a black resetting, we want black awards on black plaques and blacking black on black on black.
When black and brown bodies fall and no one is around to see it happen, do they make a sound? Or do they fall on deaf ears? Does silencer stick travel from gun barrel to the mouths of people in power? Does it gag them? Morph into cloth and sit heavy against the roofs of their mouths? Does it slither around politicians' wrists and hold them captive like, can't you see their hands are tied? When black and brown bodies fall, and some people see it happen, does anyone make a sound or do they gasp anyways? Suck in breath like this is surprising. Mourn on the streets of Manhattan, but don't dare step foot in the BX or the part of Brooklyn they haven't colonized yet. Wouldn't want to get their feet dirty or their hands, even though they already are, even though they look a little red to me. Redlining bleeds from their rusted fingertips, and our communities become caged corpses of those that died in the cycle before us. Watch how pearled gums will turn to yellow crooked teeth, how they rot and shrivel at the root of a community's mouth, hang like the fruit of black bodies that this country leaves on its doorsteps like wind chimes. Like black death is sweet to foreign ears when an entire community falls, and no one wants to hear it happen. Will it ever make a sound? Crumbling buildings build up broken bone, and forgotten families huddle like distant memories in the corners of society's mind. Banished black and brown men erode in prison cell, in jail, like it's easier to forget than help. Easier to invest in disappearance than rehabilitation. Bare grocery store shelves stack up in rib cage. Food desert lungs cough dust, and the hollow space is heavy in its shallow breath silence. Starved ghosts still weep on empty stomachs, even when their caskets are nothing more than mass graves. And mass graves will never be able to be just sidewalk, or just park, or just school ground, or just prison when phantom hands are bursting through cage and concrete pleading for a proper burial when living limbs are still there, outstretched. Can't you see them? How you ignore them now, how you ignored them then. How you will cry tears that water the graves they have been left in and think it beautiful enough when a flower grows in their place, when you express your prayers and promises for change that are never followed through. They are still there, and they are still human, no matter how many times you paint them either monster or martyr. When a black body falls and everyone hears it happen, and everyone sees it, when it is happening in our streets and our subways and an island within arm's reach, and outrage is met with tear gas, and rubber bullets ricochet with the threat of remember that we could. See the clicking of a cocked keyboard, or a crooked politician, another name made thought and prayer, another face made post, another video of a dead man gone viral. The death of a people is not meant to sound like a camera's click or a leader's photo op. The title of martyr does not belong under the face of someone that never asked to die, that never asked to be the face of a momentary movement and discarded the next day when a black body falls. And everyone sees it, and everyone makes a sound. Did anyone ever listen?
My peer walks up to the blackboard, writes in white chalk, "Is language a parasite?" and asks our thoughts. Room steers in the direction of prestige philosophy, but my brain thinks bloodsucker, thinks inhabiting the being of one who did not ask for the invasion. My mind fades to blank, fades to white, takes me back to my 4th grade classroom. Teacher who corrected the disobedient words of every student. That ain't mine, that isn't mine. Don't speak like that. Takes me back to how teachers was wildin'. Tied our tongues in a knot and demanded compliance. Ripped everything we've ever known out of our mouths, beat it into submission. My mind fades to blank. Takes me to my block where we speak Black American corner store linguistics. Dead ass. Switch. How do you expect people to respect you when you speak like that? Switch. This is why they treat you like that. Switch. Made it seem like our words buried us in our own graves. Dead ass. My mind fades to blink. Takes me to a Dominican hair salon, to the woman who scolded every ill-mannered comb-breaking coil on my head, held on to her colonizer's language with confused pride, translated pelo malo into nappy-headed, called me both in the same lifetime. My mind fades to blink. It was the Parsley Massacre. White-armed Dominicans, by order of a dictator hunting for blood, took to the border of Haiti and DR. Interrogated every dark skin too close to the other side that looked apart, held machetes to their throats and asked them to pronounce perejil, parsley in Spanish. Those who could form their mouths in the shape of Spain, rolled their R's like pleas for their lives, were set free. Those whose tongues remained untied were slaughtered. My mind fades to blank. I wish I knew my grandmother. Dark skin, comb breaking, too close to the other side. I spent years wondering why she could never claim being Haitian or call herself negra with her head held up to cover on the other side of the border. Was language a parasite that made her sick? Tied who she was in a knot, planted it in forgotten soil for unsafe keeping, beat her into Dominican. These languages be invasive species, tie tongues into nooses, hang them from a family tree rooted in the dirty land of ethnic cleanses. Call you Negro, call you negra in the same lifetime. My peer asked if language is a parasite, and I wish I knew my mother tongue so I could respond without a blood-sucking, sacrificing, leeching illness, muffling my words. My mind fades to blank. The only languages I can speak are the ones I've been beaten with. I respond to the question saying, ain't I walking proof of people who have been infected?